Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Faith in God's Will. 8:5:11. Our quote for today is Luke 11:9 and 10, and it's about the persistent friend. As I say to you, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks the door will be opened. Now this idea had been that someone who was a neighbor or friend had gone to another neighbor, and this was the middle of the night, and they had just received guests, and they didn't have enough food in their cabinets. Now hospitality was very important in these times, as it should be now, and not being able to feed your guests was sort of an insult. So what this neighbor wanted was enough bread to give to his guests. So he went to his other neighbor in the middle of the night and knocked and said, "Please wake up. I need you to come down and bring me a loaf of bread." And the neighbor says, "Oh, go away. Don't you know what time it is?" Well, he knocked again. "Please, please, my guest will go hungry if you don't help me here. It's important." Well, he came down and gave him a loaf of bread. I think sometimes seeing that it is important to act when someone is persistent. I remember when Tim was little, he used to ask me for things all the time. And one of the things that I noticed was the more he wanted something, the longer he would persist in asking me. I think that this is one indication of how badly someone wants something, is how long they're willing to persist in asking for it. When he would only ask once and I ignored it, in an hour he'd be asking for something else, but he didn't repeat it. I knew it wasn't super important. To be the persistent friend is to choose your battles and then hang on to it like a bulldog. Make sure that you fight for what you feel is right, whether it's the rights of people, whether it's keeping abuse from happening, whether it is having a government that answers to you. All of these things take persistence. Knowing that God wants the best for you. If you choose your battles based on ethical ideas, on the betterment of yourself, of others, and of the world, then God will help you if you are persistent. The story that inspired this was there was a man. He had been paralyzed for 30 years. His hero was Pope John Paul. This was before handicap ramps, obviously, and 30 years is a long time to go to church and have to drag yourself up the stairs, but he went every service. It took a long time, but when he prayed, he never asked to walk. What he asked for was to understand what was happening, why it was happening. One day, after these 30 years and after John Paul had died, he got up and he started walking. And to this day, the doctors don't know how he was healed. His paralysis reversed. We don't know why. I like to think of it as God's will. Maybe the man had a lesson to learn and this was how it was conveyed, but it came across. He was restored fully to his ability to walk. And his only prayer was not, "Give me my legs, give me my ability to walk, let me be able to take care of my family." He said, "I just want to understand." He feels that Pope John Paul was involved. Now, we don't believe in intercessors in the Church of Thomas. We think that you can pray directly to God because we're children of God. But in this particular case, he was Catholic, so he felt that he needed to use an intercessor. I don't see this as any less of a miracle because he prayed, hoping for the help of Pope John Paul to intercede on his behalf. This was an example of how persistence and acknowledging that when the time is right, you will get what you need. Most people want everything yesterday or today or 2 minutes from now. The long-term investment in your spiritual growth sometimes takes time. And if you will have faith in God's plan for you, just ask for understanding, for discernment, for a clearing up of the fog that has you surrounded, and it'll come. Be the persistent neighbor. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel.